Well, everyone, let's go and take a look at the iPhone 10 and compare it against the iPhone 12 in 2023 and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now, obviously, if you have all the money, go for the 12, but the 10 is still a good phone. If you want to pick up some phones, I would recommend this year, though. Links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off side by side, you can definitely tell that the iPhone 10 and the 12 share a lot of similarities on the front for sure. On the iPhone 10, which came out in 2017, this was the $1,000 phone back then. We had a 5.8-inch Retina OLED display, and it was a very good panel at that time. And it still is a pretty good screen. Like, I hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. This is a very, very good display. Arguably just as good, maybe not as good as the iPhone 12, but it's still up there. Face ID on the front, very slim bezels around it too. Still, it's weird because nowadays we have less bezel than what this phone had at that time, but it's still a very good looking phone, and I am a humongous fan of this specific device. On the iPhone 12, on the other hand, well, not on the other hand, well, it actually is on the same hand. It is a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and it is a very good panel here too. I mean, I think Apple did a good job here. It does get brighter, I think, than the iPhone 10. It looks good, it looks sharp, the viewing angles are still very good, but it does have the flat side, so because of that, it does actually give it the appearance that it has less bezel, although it's just less frame around it. Face ID is still on the front, nothing else crazy, and that kind of covers it up. Very similar kind of styling on the front. The sides are also very different, like I mentioned, the flat side on the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 10 had the stainless steel side. Now my side is actually very, very like, I don't know what it is, crusty, I don't know what's going on here, but it still looks good. There's not much to complain about. I would say the iPhone 10 feels more premium than the iPhone 12, so that is something that actually stands out to me. So when I'm actually feeling both, I like the flat side maybe a little bit more. It's a more modern feeling phone, but the iPhone 10 with its stainless steel band does feel really good as well. On the back, we do have glass backs on both, which is very, very nice. We do have dual camera setups on the top left as well. So we have the wide and ultra wide camera here and the wide and telephoto camera here. So we'll talk about that in a second. We have wireless charging on both these phones, and believe it or not, these are the white colors of both. So if you actually look here, it's the white, but here it's like this is more like pinkish white. This is more like glossy white. I don't know the best way to describe it. We do have wireless charging on both these phones, lightning ports at the bottom, IP certification on both phones as well, and definitely on the outside, I will say the iPhone 10 is very, very modern looking, but the iPhone 12 is the more modern phone for sure, especially with the flat sides. It gives the appearance that it's a better phone, and it's also a bigger phone too, which is nice. So, in terms of that, that kind of covers it up there. The biggest downside I would say of the iPhone 10, it's very sad because I love this phone so much, but the biggest downside probably nowadays is the fact that it is kind of on its last leg of software. It's still supported, so we're still good there, but we don't know how much longer this phone is going to last. Like, this phone could easily be discontinued this year. We really don't know. But I think it's going to last this year. It's probably going to last up until next year based on the rumors that we've seen. The iPhone 12, on the other hand, which came out in 2020, it's still going to be here. It's still going to be here for many, many more years to come. It's probably on its like second version of software so far. So this phone is still very up to date. Although it's not like the latest phone of all time, it is still a phone that's still supported. It's still a very good looking phone, and I really don't have too much to complain about it in that forefront either. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. They both have, well, this phone has the Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 10 has that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigs of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you can tell. So let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. iPhone 12 is faster, 12 is here, 10 is here. Music 3, 2, 1. And I think the iPhone 10 was faster, but they're always on 2 different panels. So I don't know why you still use this application. Settings 3, 2, 1. 12 is faster, App Store 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 12, actually both were kind of similar. That was very surprising. I was expecting one to be faster than the other one. Scrolling through, you can kind of tell again, very similar results, not really a big massive difference here. Getting out of this one, let's go into clock, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't know why we still have this one going on here. Very similar. Let's go into books, 3, 2, 1. And so far, I will say the iPhone 10 has been doing a pretty good job. Although the iPhone 12, I think, is probably faster more times than not. Even in times like these, it's like very similar. We can try opening up, let's try opening up Genshin Impact. I'm pretty sure I have it here somewhere at this phone. 3, 2, 1. Now, the 12 did open it up a little bit faster. And interestingly enough, both these phones, I don't know if I have True Tone enabled here, but they're both kind of a little bit different on, as you can see from the camera. Like this one looks a little bit more dull than this one. And the iPhone 12 is very, very weird. I thought one was going to be faster. It looked like the iPhone 10 was going to be faster, and it kind of was. Call of Duty Mobile 321. Now, gameplay is going to be completely different. You're going to be getting a way faster phone from the iPhone 12 than the iPhone 10. So that is definitely for a fact something you have to keep in mind. Okay, you can see the iPhone 12 kind of loading, the iPhone 10 eventually getting into it. So both are kind of going through it. It's going to take a few seconds. Okay, I don't know if I should even wait for it, but it does look like the iPhone 12 is going to be the faster one here. So we're just going to have to kind of wait it out, I guess. Okay, this is very boring. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the iPhone 12 is going to be faster here. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go get into another one. Let's do some of these other applications. Let's go ahead and do something like Facebook 3, 2. Let's do Twitter 3, 2, 1. Okay, and let's go and do something like Snake vs. Blocks 3, 2, 1. I can tell you overall though, the iPhone 12 is probably going to be the faster phone, but the iPhone 10 is still doing a very good job. I have to give a lot of credit to the iPhone 10 because although it's an older phone, it's still holding up pretty well against the newer guys. So you do have to give it a lot of credit there. And the camera department in this day and age, like I said, dual camera setups on both. You have a wide and ultra wide camera on the iPhone 12, but you have a wide and telephoto lens on the iPhone 10. Now, this is a pretty big difference because I do prefer the ultra-wide sensor over the telephoto lens, and with older phones from back in like 2017, 2016, they really focused more on telephoto lenses than ultra-wide sensors, but I prefer ultra-wide sensors more. Now, you can have that 10x zoom, which is really nice. Helping out though, you do have that standard 1x zoom, no 0.5x zoom, which is probably okay for a lot of people, 4K at 60 on the back, but you only get I think 1080p on the front, which is still perfectly fine. It's nothing to sneeze about or whatever. But I do prefer having a 4K on the front, 4K on the back. You still have video mode, you have portrait mode over here too. Very nice stuff. But I do think when it comes down to it, the iPhone 12's camera is far superior to the iPhone 12. That's actually not even that big of a difference. I don't want to give it that impression. But you are getting overall a better, phone overall and a better camera on something like the iPhone 12 than on the iPhone 10. Like I said before, you do have that 5x zoom, which is half as much as the iPhone 10. You do get that 0.5x zoom though, which is really nice, so you can zoom out completely. So it's really cool having that ability of just zooming out a ton. And that in and of itself, I think, is really nice. So you still have video mode, you still have portrait mode, you still have panorama mode, all this other stuff. But I think when it comes down to it, there's really, again, not a crazy amount to complain about with this camera. So to kind of sum up this video, what I'll tell you is I think the iPhone 12 is clearly the better one here. This phone is very good. It still has a ton of capability for sure. And as I said for a while, I think this is a very, very good specific phone for the most part. I think the iPhone 10 though is very good as well. I mean, this thing has still a ton of capability. It's one of my favorite older phones, but because of its age and mostly because of it being unsupported with software soon, I don't know, within the next year or two, it kind of makes this one kind of not seem as good of a deal, but it's still worth it. I think it's still a good deal. But very soon, within a year, I mean, things could change super fast. So in terms of that, that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.